𝗕𝗪𝗠𝗠𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘 finds its price action in a very interesting area currently. When we do drop over to the daily chart, well, we can see that the price is now ranging between the 50 SMA in green at 84.91, the 50 EMA in red at 81.84, and the 200 daily EMA at 77.43. All of these are testing the daily equilibrium. Is a move down towards 64, perhaps 58 cents on the card for 𝗕𝗪𝗠𝗠𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘? Let's dive into all of this and more in today's update. What's going on, guys, and a very welcome back to you all, cheeky crypto uncensored. I'm JB and we're going to talk 𝗕𝗪𝗠𝗠𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘, a very interesting read on that daily chart in particular. Let's go back to it here. So of course previously we did track this 5-wave move down where we did see the price come down to 73.62 cents for 𝗕𝗪𝗠𝗠𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘 before we did see this move to the upside towards January the 11th at 95.82 cents here. Then of course from here we have tracked this move to the downside. Now of course the target area for this bigger move, which would be an A, B and C structure here, does have that target area between 64.54 and 58.8. So can we still expect this retrace, or are we looking for a bounce? Well, when we take into consideration the position of the stochastic RSI, well, we can see that the stochastic is pointing to the downside, crossing lower than the average line, and momentum is to the downside on this daily chart in particular. With us coming up to test out the 50 EMA here in red, finding it as resistance, I think we may as well be looking for a daily move towards the downside. Yes, we can come up a little bit further, let's not take that out of the opinion, but ultimately that daily time frame is looking for the move down towards 64 and 58 cents. Now the move in itself, we can target this one out a little bit more accurately. We of course know that we will be looking for that 50 to 88.2% retracement level here, falling between 81.42 and 92.19. This retracement does look like it has been achieved. Should we break up a little bit higher, that's perfectly fine, but what we can see is the 50 EMA and the 50 SMA falling within this area. A rejection from here, it does look highly likely down towards our target area, where once again the structures themselves are very poor, but we of course will be looking for a 5-wave structure, and it does look like we have achieved a 5-wave structure. With that wave 4 in progress, the wave 5 I would expect to be quite sharp and quite steep. But of course today we do have the Fed meeting, the FOMC interest rate decision, or the Fed interest rate decision rather. Could we see that price drop off the back of there? Could we expect a further pump? I do think we would be likely looking at a bit of a move to the upside. With a Fed pause likely, I would expect to see a bit of a bullish market, which takes us away from this narrative of that 5th wave movement. And if that is the case, then we would know that we have fell short of that target area in this move here. The wave 3 technically would have been over here with the wave 4 and the wave 5 finishing at that point. So we can understand that they are the moves that have taken place. Now what would that movement look like? Have we bounced on any interesting Fibonacci levels? Well, we can take that 100% move of the wave 1 and bring it over to the swing high here at 95.68 cents. Let's just bring this onto the correct level. So we can see that the move to the downside has bounced down, tested out the 786 Fibonacci level and essentially found this as support. It did wick lower, but ultimately in and around this area finding a bit of support. So it does look likely that, you know, we have probably found that area as support and we are on that next move to the upside. If we were to drop down, which it does look like, that daily in particular does look likely it is looking for that move overall, well, we would be looking around about 75 to 70 cents, this area we have highlighted just here on the charts. Let's just mark it up so we know that that is the next target, in my opinion, on this daily chart, 75.92 and 70.69 cents. When we do come down to the hourly chart, well, we can see that 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗏 being the data source for this movement, well, the hourly chart looks slightly more bullish, trading higher than the 200 EMA. The 50 EMA and the 50 SMA are currently acting as a bit of resistance, but that stochastic position has reset very quickly here. We can see it's almost back down in the oversold territory, with the 4-hour time frame aligning with this kind of movement back down towards that oversold territory, perhaps lining itself up, for that Fed announcement for no interest rate hike, which looks the likely scenario. Now, the move to the upside, in my opinion, does look to be quite a bullish move. We know we have a bit of an impulsive movement going on here. Debatable whether the wave 3 finishes here or here, in my opinion. We will check this one, but I don't think this movement here on Sunday meets requirements for the impulsive move. I would say it has to finish up here, which we would have to then consider it does finish a little bit further up. So let's do those measurements. Let's take that 100% move in the wave 1 and we'll bring it over to the swing we do have coming up here, where we can see that we do not actually meet requirements for that impulsive level. We will ensure we have this clicked onto the correct candle down here at 71.6956 cents. So we know that that impulsive movement would come up here at 81.0392, and we fail to hit there, hitting around about 81 cent flat. So that movement in itself does not finish here. So the internal count would of course look 1, 2, 3. We come down in wave 4, and it looks like we do have the potential for the wave 5 to finish here. So the count overall, it still looks like it has a little bit more to give. The bigger movement in itself being a wave 1, a wave 2, all of this being wave 3, came down to its wave 4, and we're looking for that bigger 5th wave. Now this big 5th wave really could take off. The movements in themselves, we could be looking at a big wave 1, wave 2, with an overextended wave 5 on this external count, where we would obviously look at a very bullish 5th wave movement. Now, should this move here be in fact the start of this move, and this being the retracement, we will look for the wave 3 to come up and hit towards 86.89 cents. We would then expect a retracement in the wave 4 and another bounce in the wave 5. All of these movements in themselves would align to a bit of an extension here on the daily chart, where we would see that 50 SMA tested out. So a continuation to the upside does look likely before we will look for this retracement on the daily time frame for 𝗕𝗂𝗀𝗰𝗍𝗃. And before we wrap it up for today, we will look at that weekly chart, a quick breakdown. Where we're targeting it to go, but we can see that the 50 SMA is now testing and looking to break lower than the 50 EMA. Is that a bearish sign? Technically it is. I'm not overly concerned with that. Ultimately, on the weekly chart, we have came down, tried to test out the 200 EMA, but we have pushed up from there. In the longer term time frame, guys, I am still expecting a move down towards the 38 cent. Now, of course, we will face stern support here at 49.24 cent, that previous week low we did have back here on the 11th of September. But in the longer time frame, guys, I am still a bit bearish on the price targets. I do still expect a pullback in the markets. 𝗕𝗂𝗀𝗰𝗍𝗃, of course, is no exception. 38 cent does still seem very, very appealing. I hope you guys have enjoyed today's update. Why not continue checking out the channel's content by checking out the latest update I did for Cardano's ERA.